In the middle of 2025, I hit my breaking point. I used to love the ritual of logging in with friends and checking out whatever content was available for a new live service game that I was playing. I would spend hours on whatever game it would be, and after a decade of this cycle, I finally realized something. I wasn't having fun anymore. Today, I'm explaining exactly why I am quitting live service games in 2026. Reason number one, game fatigue. Live service games have been a massive part of my life for over a decade. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, the idea of like a forever game having endless amounts of content sounded amazing. I've sunk thousands of hours across many different games. The Division, Fortnite, Diablo, you name it, I've tried it. But what I didn't realize until it was far too late is this forever game promise is actually a trap that hits you pretty damn hard when you fall into it. And I hit this wall, especially with Destiny 2. I've spent 10 years of my life committed to this game, from Destiny 1 all the way through until last year's expansion, giving the best gaming memories and creating lasting friendships that I will always remember. But with the crescendo of the Final Shape's 10-year culmination of the franchise, I realized my time with the series was slowly coming to an end. No matter how many updates Bungie pushed, no matter how much I played, something felt different. Many of my friends just straight up stopped playing. My time myself playing was reduced. And the best way to describe it is, remember that scene that Woody has in Toy Story 1 where he sees everything being replaced with Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story? That was the feeling and realization that I got in mid-July during the Edge of Fate expansion. I was just logging into the game for the sake of keeping up, not having that same fun doing it all alone. I finally stopped playing, and honestly, it left a little bit of a void. Knowing that the last 10 years weren't a full wasted amount of time doesn't make the empty space feel any better. Deep down, I think I wanted some freedom, and signing into another 5 to 10 year grind with another game was difficult, and playing catch up with another is highly unmotivating. Reason number two, the content treadmill. We all know the ritual. You log in, you do your daily challenges, you get your bonus XP for the battle pass, and you continue playing for however many hours afterwards. It starts off fun whenever a new game releases, but after a few weeks it becomes less about playing a game and more like keeping up. You may have already spent 40 hours in the game, but there's this subtle subconscious obligation to keep playing, otherwise you will fall behind. Developers have mastered this subconscious FOMO, drip feeding us just enough content to keep us engaged, all with the hope that they can suck a little bit more money out of our pockets. And hey, look, I've spent an embarrassing amount of money on these games, but the obligation eventually does turn into a chore. You find yourself grinding for hours just to unlock a cool skin at tier 100, but do you really need that skin? Are you ever going to actually use it? The fun part is it's going to disappear in a few weeks, so you better get it or you'll never get it ever again. And you end up playing because you are locked into the grind, not because you are having fun. And this is where our most valuable resource, time, really hits home. When 5 games are throwing FOMO signals at you, it's a recipe for burnout because all of your time gaming is sucked into playing those games. That burnout comes from our time not being respected, but also because we don't feel a great deal of accomplishment whenever we spend that time. We often treat our own free time as like this infinite well to pull from, but in reality, it's not. When a game demands your time each day through FOMO, it devalues it. It creates a warped exchange rate because you would happily spend 100 hours to get like a slightly shinier, better thing that never really feels satisfying. It's a bit different in a single player game doing a similar thing. There is a closed loop. There's usually like an achievement to get with it. There's usually a platinum trophy, and it's tied to collecting everything in the game. You can have this feeling of completion, but in a live service game, the treadmill never really stops, so you never get that moment to appreciate what you've earned, unlike when you complete a single player game and you're like, okay, I've beaten that now, I've got the platinum, I don't even need to go back to that game anymore. Live service isn't like this. What took me far too long to realize was how much I was missing out on. Whilst I was being a good little hamster, countless amazing games and some incredible experiences were just passing me by. Since stepping off the treadmill, I've been able to catch up on games like Baldur's Gate 3, Hades 2 this year, Expedition 33, and so many more. Sure, my backlog is pretty large right now, but that's probably a first world problem that you want to have, and I'm at least happy to have that for the moment. The realization didn't exactly hit me in 2025. It's been rumbling for a few years now, but I think I had to finally put a nail in the coffin starting with this year. Reason number 3, one patch away from disaster. Every new live service game seems to go through this inevitable cycle. It always starts off really great, the game launches or the expansion launches, everyone is excited, the player count is high, your friends are really hyped, and the same thought always happens. They did it! They got the formula right. How can this be any more perfect? That honeymoon period will last around about a month or so, but results will vary from game to game. That is until the update drops. That really cool build that you spent time perfecting, nerfed. That weapon you really like using, useless. That farming loop that you really like, patched. We've all seen this happen so many times. It leads to players leaving, becoming alienated and angry, and not having fun anymore. One bad patch can kill all the momentum that a live service game has built up, and if the game then survives, it tends to fall into this limbo period. Due to the nature of game development, this could be months before the devs make changes that are more positive or fix specific mistakes, and the message is still the same. Stick with us till then. This promise doesn't fill me with confidence anymore, especially when the dreaded killer patch hasn't even happened yet. I try to get as much as I can out of the game before this happens, because at some point it does happen every single time. This is then where we come back to the point of respecting our time. The genre of live service, regardless of what type of game it is, can be so volatile. There can be high points and low points, leading to periods of love or hate for a specific game. The major point that developers keep missing consistently with putting out these live service games is that there's only so many players to go around. You need to pull them from other experiences that they're already playing, and that's a very hard sell if it's not a blockbuster game, which leads to many of these games coming out for like a month or two and then not really going anywhere. So when we stack all of these problems together that I was having, game fatigue, the content treadmill, the fear of that patch, the direction that I was heading was pretty clear. I was tired of being locked into one game for many years. I was tired of these games demanding so much of my time, but not respecting it. And I was tired of committing to these promises time and time again, only to be disappointed. So it was time to make a change. Starting from that breaking point in 2025, right to the start of this year and beyond, I am taking a break from being on the treadmill. I'm finally stepping off. In fact, I've actually already started, and here's what I've learned so far. Number 1. Playing games at my own pace is awesome. I finally play through games without needing to commit a certain amount of hours each week, managed to get through Dispatch, and I'm currently playing through Ghost of Yote, which has been a great time. Number 2 was the sense of completion being back. Towards the end of 2025, going into this year, I finished more games, I got through more movies, and being done with something finally was really satisfying. And number 3 was unexpected time. I found that being out of the loop and not being locked into every update or whatever was coming out, I had a great deal of extra free time that I just wasn't expecting. This led to a fair bit of procrastination on my part, but sometimes that's okay, and especially with the way life is at the moment, doing nothing can be quite fun sometimes. What this period has taught me, and what I plan to do for the rest of 2026, is play more when I want, more frequently. I want to have the freedom not to be attached to a game's long-term future. My hope is to play a great deal of my backlog this year and catch up on some gems that I've missed in recent years, and hopefully the burnout will fade and I can jump back into a game like Destiny 2 or The Division 2 or whatever live service game is with a fresh perspective and maybe feel okay with it. I won't feel locked in anymore, and I'll maybe have time to actually appreciate them as games rather than as a second job. I'll enjoy the ride and then move on. But tell me, have you quit any live service games? Which are the ones that still respect your time, if any? Let me know in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos soon. Thank you for watching, and as always, this has been It's Jimbo, and I will see you guys next time.